Hello everyone. In this video, we will solve this problem based on the concepts of quadratic equations. Now in this problem, we have to convert this given quadratic equation from vertex form to factored form. So this equation here is in vertex form. So the vertex form is the one whose general equation is y equals a x minus h whole square plus k. Now there is no direct way of converting vertex form to factored form. So first we have to convert this vertex form to standard form, and then we convert the standard form to factored form. So let's start by converting this vertex form to standard form. So the first step for that is to expand the square. So we write out term with the square twice. So this is our first step. So we multiply x minus 1 by itself. Now we have to distribute the terms in the parentheses. So we use FOIL. So we distribute x into the other parentheses, and then we distribute the negative 1 into the other parentheses. So the 4 stays as it is, and then we do x times x, which is x squared, and then we do x times negative 1, which is minus x, and then we do negative 1 times x, which is minus x, and then negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1. So the negative x and negative x are like terms, so we can combine them. So we get x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now we have to distribute this 4 in the parentheses. So we multiply each term in the parentheses by 4. So we get 4x squared, and then 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8x, and then 4 times 1, which is 4, and minus 1. Now we can identify any like terms in this expression. So 4 and negative 1 are like terms. So we can combine them to get 4x squared minus 8x plus 3. So this is the equation in standard form. Now we can convert the standard form into factored form. So for that, we'll have to factor this expression. So the first thing we need to do is identify the kind of expression it is. Now this is a quadratic function, and this is a complex trinomial, because the coefficient of the x squared term is not equal to 1. It's equal to 4. So we'll have to use the decomposition method. So in the decomposition method, we break up this middle x term. So the first step is to use the sum and the product rule. So we have to find two numbers whose sum is negative 8 and product is 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. So the negative 8 comes from the coefficient of the x term, and this 4 is the coefficient of this x squared term, and then 3 is the number term. So we have to find two numbers that satisfy both of these requirements. So we find these two numbers by focusing on the product. So we have to think of two numbers that multiply to 12. So the first pair that comes to my mind is 1 and 12. But we cannot get a sum of negative 8 from 1 and 12, so this pair is out. Now the second pair that comes to my mind is 2 and 6. Now if we add 2 and 6, we get a sum of 8. Now in order to get a sum of negative 8, we'll have to make both of these numbers negative. So we know that negative 2 plus negative 6 is equal to negative 8. And negative 2 times negative 6 is equal to positive 12. So the two numbers that we are looking for are negative 2 and negative 6. Now we can break up the middle term, negative 8x, using these two numbers. So we get 4x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 3. Now we have to use the grouping method to factor this further. So for that we pair up the first two terms and we pair up the last two terms. So now we find the common factor from the first pair, which is equal to 2x. And now we'll write what's left over in the parentheses. So for that, we'll divide 4x squared by 2x. So 2x is the common factor because 2 evenly divides 4 and 2, and we can factor out an x from x squared and x. So 4x squared divided by 2x is equal to 2x. And if we factor out this whole 2x, we are left with just 1. Now from the second pair, we can factor out only a 3 because 3 evenly divides 6 and 3. And since the first term is a negative term, we should factor out negative 3. And now we can write what's left over in the parentheses. So negative 6 divided by negative 3 is equal to 2. And then we have the x and then minus 1. So we did 3 divided by negative 3, which is equal to negative 1. Now that we have this 2x minus 1 in both terms, we factor out the 2x minus 1. And now we write what's left from these two terms in another parentheses. So we get 2x minus 3. So this is the equation in factored form. So this 2x comes from here and this negative 3 comes from here. So these are the steps you have to keep in mind to convert an equation from vertex form to factored form. So I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.